Hi, this is Joy Robertson. As many of you know, I love food. I love finding new restaurants. I love trying new dishes. And most of all, I love talking to the many great restaurateurs and entrepreneurs we have here in the Ozarks and beyond. I love hearing their stories, and that's what this podcast is all about, learning more about them and their journey. So join me as we savor the Ozarks. This episode is brought to you by Arctic Food Equipment. Welcome, everyone, to Savor the Ozarks. I am at a relatively new restaurant, Show Me Chuy, and we're down on Republic Road, and I can't wait to get into talking about your menu because you're sort of an Italian-Mexican fusion, just like it says right there on your shirt. Jesus Chuy Garcia is here, along with his wife, Judith Martinez Garcia. Chuy, for years, you were in the kitchen at Avanzare, which is your brother Tony's restaurant. And look at you now. What made you decide to open Show Me Chuy?
Well, I think it's every chef's dream to have their own places. And, I think everything come together, an opportunity. Of course, I was kind of expecting, but everything just came without expecting it. And here we are, just take the opportunity and make the decision, and we're here.
How many years were you in the kitchen with Tony?
Well, I was with Tony since we opened Avanzare, since day one. And then, but then I took a little break. I went back to Mexico, and then I got back, and I've been back since. I left for like 4 years, and then come back, and been with him since then. So it's been like 20 years with Tony.
So how did a guy from Jalisco wind up in the United States and eventually owning and operating a restaurant in Springfield, Missouri? Tell me about your history.
Well, I think I'm from a little towns, and I don't want to say it's kind of like a tradition, but when you're growing up, and you see, like my brother was here in the United States, and so you start planning, be like, when I'm 15 years old, I'm ready to go to the United States. So I make that decision. So I moved here when I was 16 years old. My brother was here in Springfield already. So he brought me to Springfield. So I got to Chicago, and then he brought me here right away. So since 99, I've been here with my brother. We was working together since then with my brother.
And I want to talk to your brother also. And by the way, he was going to join us today, and I'm going to tell on him in just a minute. He's on the golf course. Judith is laughing because he just called you and apologized. He's on the golf course, and back when I was doing Ozarks Live, it was nothing for us to go, oh, I can't wait. Tony's coming on today. It's going to be fun. Tom, go call him. Because he's going to forget, and he's going to go to the golf course. He's not going to realize what time it is. And somehow that guy would go to the restaurant and come back with like a giant, steak and lobster or something, and he would manage to cook it live on TV and probably turn right around and go back to the golf course. Anyway, so Tony ends up a guy from Mexico in the United States cooking Italian. His menu is pretty much standard Italian. Chuy, you turned that on its head with your fusion, which is what's so compelling about what you do. What was your vision for this fusion menu?
Well, I was thinking what I can do to be different than also my brother. So I started thinking about that a lot too. I love to cook Mexican food. I love to cook Italian food. Well, we don't put something together, and also in the same process, teach some people that in Mexico we eat different than they were expecting here. We have steaks, all the seafood you can think. We just don't have chisos and chimichangas and all those. So I'm trying to teach people that we do have fine dining food in Mexico too, and a lot of people doesn't realize that here. So I'm trying to teach people that was one of my biggest things that start coming, how I can do to teach people new dishes and change their perspective of being like, oh, this is not a fajita place or, chips and salsa and all this. So like we also have we have a lot of fine dining food in Mexico. So I'm trying to add a little bit and a little bit, and my goal is to introduce more and more every time.
Give me an example. I mean, your menu, it's clearly got kind of the best of both worlds. What were some of the first dishes you came up with that sort of combined the two cultures?
Well, I got the Pollo Poblano, which is, it's a creamy sauce with poblano peppers in it, with garlic, and kind of add a little of the Mexican flavors, heavy garlic, heavy this, and then I serve it with mashed potatoes and vegetables. So it's kind of a combination. My other combination is the pork chop. My pork chop has been marinated with all Mexican seasons, and also I do the mango pico de gallo, and I serve it with a little roasted potatoes and mashed potatoes. So it's kind of combine the rosemary with the roasted potatoes and all that, and the Mexican and all the Mexican style. So I got another fish that I try to also like I marinated with we make a sazon with mayonnaise, chipotle sauce, and I marinated with all that, and then I grill it. Then I serve it with risotto and vegetables.
Oh, that sounds amazing. You also do an Italian lasagna, which you would, of course, figure, but a Mexican lasagna. Describe your Mexican lasagna.
Well, my Mexican lasagna, in Mexico we got one something similar that we call it pastel azteca, Aztec cake. So it's kind of like that. So I'm like, okay, I can put something like that with the tortillas instead of noodles, and then I do my chicken, and then I do my salsa with tomatillos, tomatoes. I do everything. Everything has been cooked fresh. So I'm like, I can put it together with fresh Mexican cheese and a little Chihuahua cheese on top, and I mean that's my Mexican lasagna.
Okay, so instead of the traditional lasagna noodles, you have the tortillas.
Yep.
Amazing. Judith, I want to talk to you too. To what degree do you have some pull with what's on the is it fun coming up with helping come up with the recipes and the ideas? Because you told me when I came in that you really like the salsa with the mango.
Yeah, I really have nothing to say because I don't cook. Growing up, my dad used to tell me, if you don't learn how to cook, you're not ever gonna find a husband. And so I married a chef. But yesterday people asked me what do you recommend, and I never know because that he always makes something special for me. I never eat off the menu ever, and Tony does the same. Since Avansari, I never saw the menu because they always spoil me. And so I don't, I just like everything they do. My favorite would be brunch. I love chilaquiles, and I really love Mexican food, and the spicy that he makes. But I have never helped, and I cannot take any credit in any of the recipes because I'm useless in the kitchen.
You're a busy lady, though, and I just want to mention you are incredibly accomplished. You two are from Monterrey, Mexico. Came to this country, you're a PhD, you're on the staff at Missouri State, you're flying the flag, you've got on the jersey right now, and an associate professor as well. So you're a busy lady. You don't have a lot of time for the kitchen.
Yeah, no, I don't, but I love being here because I think our culture, it's very, it's a culture of hospitality. And so I enjoy being here, seeing people, when I'm not here, I ask Joey, who was there today? Who did you see? Who did you get to say hello to? So, we really started doing and hosting a lot of things at my house. And I think that's when he started thinking we should open a restaurant because we just had a lot of people over. And he did the cooking. And I love to host, I love to greet people, to talk to them, to see, what's up with their lives and learn about them and learn, people. There's so many different people that come here and everybody has a unique story. So that's what I love about being here at the restaurant with him, and then it's the first time that I get to work with my husband. So, there's like a lot of admiration that I'm getting when I see him because I've never been in his shoes, and I literally go, what how have you been, in the kitchen on your feet so long, because I'm tired? Or how do you not get in a bad mood, because he's very patient. And so I think it has gotten a twist to our marriage because I have a lot of, I'm very proud of him.
Of course.
Yeah.
It shows. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, you two met, I believe, when you were working over at Alvin's Heart.
Yes. Yeah, she come over. That was when she come over to school to work in MSU. She come off to have dinner in Alvin's Heart, and then she saw me. I saw her alone. She say I don't saw her, but I saw her, and then she started coming back to see me.
And the rest is history. How long have you been married?
It's been 22 years. 22 years been married, yeah.
And you've got a family.
Yeah, we got 2 kids. One is 20. He's going to be 21 in September. And I got my youngest. He's 17. And they're both been helping me a lot here in the restaurant. So they've been really blessed me with everything. Everything has been a bless.
For over 30 years, Arctic Food Equipment has proudly served the backbone of America's restaurant industry, right here in the heart of Springfield, Missouri. We're not just a supply house, we're your partner. From kitchens large to small, we build value-based relationships, always exceeding expectations with quality products and expert support. Trusted, reliable, American-made values. That's Arctic Food Equipment. Together, we help build the taste of our nation. Stop by or call today, Arctic Food Equipment. We're working hard so your kitchen can too. The tools you trust, the partner you deserve.
Tell me about the decor of this restaurant. It's just beautifully done. There's art, some local art, but it's got that sort of Spanish and Mexican influence. Tell me about what was your vision for what we have here?
Well, when I got the restaurant, I start thinking about it. Maybe everybody thinks about Mexican restaurants, the colors and these and And I'm like, no, we also have really classic restaurants and all these. So let's make it look a little more European. But in Mexico we have restaurants like that they are really classic. So let's start making. And then I start thinking about also, well, I need to put also big gratitude with the veterans. So I put a flight with the veteran, American flight. So I was like, I really appreciate all this from this country too. So like, I want to add everything into it. It's been like I love to share love with people. So that's one of the ways I can say I can share love with people.
I had not looked back that direction to see the American flag painted. Well, this is just lovely.
The one on the side here is say veterans in it.
Thank you, veterans, it says in the flag. Oh, that's so great. By the way, you have bar stools up here where diners can watch in the kitchen. I bet you love that.
Well, it was an idea also because people like to come and drink tequila with me. So I'm like, well, they can come sit down right in front of the kitchen when I'm cooking, and I can still be drinking tequila close to them. So.
Yeah, well, the part of Mexico you come from, Jalisco, tequila pretty much is one of the things that area is known for, correct?
Oh, yeah, we use tequila since we're young in Mexico, it's really typical because you see the agaves growing everywhere. I mean, we are in the heart of the tequila wars where we grow up, so yeah.
So what was it like growing up in Mexico for you? Who taught you to cook?
Well, I think, we grew up in a dairy farm. So we were always working in the farm, cooking ourselves. And, when I was little and then Tony, I remember we used to get together and kill a chicken and cook it right in the fire. So since Tony, I remember, and we always, with my dad and everything, we always kill something and we cook it and eat it in the farm. And then in my house, we would come over in the house in the weekends where I would not go to school. Would be like sometimes we help my mom to make breakfast and stuff. We love to, it's something that we love to cook since we're little. Since I remember, I used to go and cook. Okay. So it was something that even growing up, we didn't do do it like you have to do it, you know, but it was like something, when we're on the farm, we know we have to cook. So we have to plan to get it done, because we're not going back to the house and eat and then come back. So we will eat right there in the farm. So we will used to cook right in the corner of the cornfields, under the tree. So we always have a little pots in there and everything to cook whatever in there. So we catch a fish, we'll cook it there, or whatever we'll kill, we will eat it in there in the moment.
So fresh meat, fresh fish, whatever you have. And so you were working this dairy farm. So you do come by it naturally. I'm sure you would probably come up with ways to try and make variations on whatever you were cooking. So in other words, you would say, you know, I love fish, but we did it this way on Tuesday. Let's do it this way on Friday. So you would probably come up with different ways to vary your dishes, I'm guessing.
Well, that's the biggest thing, you know, and it's really nice because it's so natural for me, like for us, because since we were little, we were, okay, this is what we got, let's make something out with this. You know, we got a tomato, we got an onion, okay, let's cut a corn, or, you know, we have cactus, let's cut cactus, let's do it, and we will make something with whatever we have at hand. You know, so it was always like that. So it's like, put me to cook whatever, I would try to cook, I would cook it with whatever I had in hand. I don't know, like, oh, I don't have this, so I cannot make it. No, I was trying to find some other way to make it. So it's something like we have natural. That's a thing, you know, it's a natural for me. And I think it's a really big gift that God gave us to get that, you know, because it just become a natural thing. So it's like people ask me, like, I just do it, you know, it's a natural thing that we do since we were little, you know. This is what you got, okay, I make something and I eat it.
Did you work in restaurants before you came to the United States?
No, I didn't. You know, we got here, and I just worked with my brother.
Okay.
That was my first job in a restaurant, working with my brother. I used to work milking cows and doing all the farm labor, but not in a restaurant.
Okay. So Tony's the older brother, correct?
Oldest.
Yeah, we got a sister that is the oldest, and then it's Tony. But yeah, pretty much we see Tony like the oldest.
Okay, so you're the baby of the family.
I am.
Okay.
Well, I got a younger sister, but you know, I'm the boys, the guys. I'm the old younger.
Okay, got you. So you're not actually the baby of the family, but
Yeah.
you're the younger brother. Were you and Tony close growing up?
We were. Yeah, I was. When I was growing up, I want to do everything what Tony would do. And even if he was trying to sneak out, I would find out a way to follow him and find him where he was with his friends, and I would shut up. So I was like that since until he moved to United States, and so he moved, and then what was it, like 7 years after, like 6 or 7 years, then I come with him again. So.
And he was in Chicago to begin with, right?
Yeah, he was in Chicago, I don't know, for like 7 years before. No, like 6 years. Well, before I moved, because he was 3 or 4, something like that. I'm not 100% sure, but he was like 5-6 years in Chicago, and then he was here, and that's, you know, I went to Chicago, and then he just told me, well, don't do nothing over there, move with me here and help me here. So that's, since then I was with him.
So it's been quite the road to get here, but a delicious one, you know, because you guys have turned a lot of great food out in this town. Now you're doing it again on your own with some incredible dishes. What is your favorite thing on the menu?
Oh, that's another really hard question for me to say. Well, not hard, but you know, I'm a person that I don't have favoritism. Like I don't really have a favorite thing. Like I say, we grow up we got this to cook. Just make it and make it your favorite, make it your best dish every single time, you know. So for me, I mean, all the food, I love making anything. I love to cook. I enjoy food. So I think it depends on the moment or the whatever the moment that we live in, or the friends I got with, you know, that we come with something, and I always trying to make my best dish ever. So
That's a tough question. And I ask that. Sometimes I get an answer. Other times I just get this look like, well, it depends on what I'm in the mood for. You know, I'm that way. I couldn't tell you what my favorite is. It's what I want at the moment. Is there anything on your menu that you're particularly proud of? I'll put it that way. I know you're proud of the whole menu, but is there any one dish that you're like, oh, this is just amazing?
Well, I got my pork chang. The pork chang, you know, it's been becoming really popular, and I really love it. And every day I try to make my sauce better and better. So I think it's becoming really good, and I think I got it and to a point that I really love how the sauce is. So I really prefer my sauce already. So it took me, maybe a couple weeks, 3 weeks to get it the way I want it. So it is perfect now. So I love the pork chang, and people love it too because it's something really different from everywhere. So when the people try it, it's really something that's where the Mexican is in there, So people really love that. The pork chang is prepared with all colored peppers. I make a sauce with all the colored pepper. I kind of marinate them, bake them in the oven, and then I put them with more sauce with veal stock, and I cook them in the oven for like 3-4 hours, low temp. And then I make the sauce with that sauce. It's kind of like osobuco, but it's more with colored peppers and kind of like, they call it like a salsa colorada in Mexico, something like that.
Okay, that's the red sauce. So the one with the salsa is more of like a pork chop rather than a pork shank.
Yeah, the mango sauce that's a pork chop. Gotcha. That's a pork chop with a pico de gallo mango, a little white wine, and a little butter with the sauce on top of the pork chop. And the pork chop has been marinated also kind of with the same sauce of the pork, but a little differently. Is more marinated with the marinade. They marinate the tacos de trompo or tacos al pastor. Mm-hmm. That's the sauce I marinated the pork chop with.
How are people in the 417 taking to the variations that you bring? Does it take a little convincing to get them to maybe try things? I say them, us. I mean, people. We're adventurous eaters, and we're getting better, but maybe we're not adventurous enough.
Well, some things they don't take that long to be able to be. I want to try that, but I got some couple sauces that I think people be being a little scared to try them because I don't know, they're like or looks like it's too much, or they think it's gonna be hot. I'm trying not to make any of my sauces hot, like spicy that you cannot eat them. I try to take the seeds out of the peppers and everything just to get the flavor out of the pepper, not to make it spicy. So I feel like sometimes people is a little scared of some sauces that they're going to be or too spicy or it looks like too much, so they kind of stay away from them.
Bring a little spoonful of sauce out. That'll change their mind.
Yeah, so that my goal is gonna be, I'm gonna try to be making specials every day, and then I'm gonna start introducing a lot of new stuff for people to try it, and little by little, I will get people in tequila and needing more sauce, and they're gonna start trying everything better.
They'll try everything at that point. What made you decide to do brunch? I think that's a grand idea.
Well, because my wife loves the chilaquiles, so if I'm gonna cook at home for her anyway, so I better just cook for everybody.
Explain what chilaquile is.
The chilaquiles is like a chip tortilla, and I make a salsa with also all these colored peppers in it and a lot of spicy. They are not spicy, just the spices in it, but it's not spicy. And then you get the chips, you soak them in the sauce. And then you cook the eggs however they want the eggs, or I got eggs with beef tips, with chorizo. I got also one dish that comes with New York strip with chilaquiles and eggs. So, and I put a little Mexican cheese in it and cream.
The first place I ever had chilaquiles was in Tlaquepaque. At our sister city, at the hotel, they would bring that out, and I was like, where has this been all my life? Mm-hmm. It was just fantastic. How is that going over?
It's been great, and also because that too, I had a lot of people like, I never eat chilaquiles when the tortilla was still a little crunchy. Like, no, because they make it in a big pots, and when you get them, they are really soft already. So this, what I do, I make them in the moment. I suck them in the sauce on the moment, so that way when you get it, they're still you still got a little crunchy bites on it.
That's where you're going to get me, because I'm a texture person. I love crunchy. I love a good texture. Judith is over there like, yeah, nodding your head. That's your jam, right?
I love chilaquiles. I always say that the secret to our marriage is brunch, because that's my favorite. You know, if I'm ever mad at him and he makes chilaquiles or any type of brunch, anything he has here like molletes or everything in the brunch menu, it's just my favorite. Yeah, it's like makes me think of going to a resort in Mexico, and then the brunches you get there, that's what he has here on Sundays. So, and then also we were always, since I don't cook and Sundays was his day off, we were always thinking like, where do we go get brunch? And so that's where the idea kind of came from.
My goodness, talk about your desserts. What do you have for dessert around here?
For dessert, I make my Mexican flan, but I don't make it the typical that you would get here. That they make their own sugar caramel. No, mine, I made it with goat milk caramel. So it's not that sweet.
Okay.
And then I got my traditional cheesecake, and I got a chocolate cake and a tres leches cake. And for Sundays, I'm gonna start doing sweet Mexican bread they call conchas, and they're hot. They're kind of like the pancakes. I put them in the grill to get them warm, and they get really good.
Yeah, that sounds divine. What about your cocktails? You got margaritas, different flavors. You got my latest hang-up is chamoy. Oh my goodness! Talk about where's that been all my life. Talk about the cocktail program here.
Well, I got cocktails that we call them mezcalitas, that they are made with mezcal. Like I got one with orange juice, little lime juice, and we squish everything so it's fresh juice. And I got one with tamarind. I make a tamarind, and one with hibiscus water tea. So I got those, and they're really good. I also got one with the cucumber. Okay. So that's really good too. So I am planning to make more for the summer to be more fresh and ready to be here for the hot days.
Pineapple. I saw a pineapple. Yeah. Sounds so good. You know, those of us who've been inside this building before are going to see something new when you come in. There is an upstairs which can seat several people. How many?
40 people, yeah. Up to 40 people, yeah. But 30 would be very comfortable, but 40 people have been there already.
Wow. So, and one thing about the upstairs, it can sort of be walled off a little bit, if you will, for a space for like a lunch meeting or a dinner meeting, something like that. How has that gone over?
Well, it's been good. You know, by the time we open, we already have like maybe 8 or 10 parties up there. Like I say, I can set up a buffet style, or I can do by the menu. I can a private bar. It has their own bar, so I can have a private bartender there and everything. So I'm trying, and I think it's getting better. It's going to get better and better.
Well, as of today, you've only been open for probably a couple of months, 8 weeks. And I know probably to some degree there's a little trial and error. You put things out, you see how they go, you change your menu around. Is there anything you're already looking forward to doing new? I mean, is there anything on your radar that you might try, or are you just going to keep on keeping on now and see where it leads you?
Well, right now, you know, my biggest thing is to keep adding more, bringing more new dishes to the people to try, and you know, I love to share my food with people. I love that. I love to make friends with food and tequila. But my big goal is that to keep adding more new dishes and present more new dishes for people. So I'm gonna be doing the specials, and then with these dishes, how they go, I'm gonna keep adding in the menu. Whatever dishes they come and people accept them good, so I will add them back to the menu. So I'm gonna be moving my menu how I go a lot.
And you do parties, you do birthday parties, anniversaries, catering as well.
Yeah, we can do any party, and also I've been doing caterings in the mornings, especially for lunch or whatever. I got my package ready set in there for people who want to do caterings, and I'm trying to get a little more promoter. But I'm ready to do some caterings. I wait a little bit, because I was trying to get ready, have my help ready, but I think I am ready, so I'm gonna start doing some caterings.
Judith, I was going back and forth with you via text to set up this little chat, and you said, we'll be in the restaurant at 7 a.m. Yeah. I mean, that's what it takes. That had to be, and you've been married to a guy who's been in the business, but when you've got your own, that's a lot of hours.
Yeah, exactly. We're here at 7, and we leave, until we close, usually. And like I said, it's being around people. We have to, say hello. Chuy has always said that this is like a family place. So he wants people to feel like family. And, when people come to your house, you greet them, you ask about their families, you sit down with them, you take a bite, you share something. Hey, we just made this dish, or Chuy just made this dish. We share something, or this new drink, or, so it's been, very exhausting, but at the same time very exciting, and just we're very grateful because we don't feel like we're a new restaurant. I mean, the community just keeps coming, and then they keep coming and supporting. And, like we said, by the time we opened, we already had that room upstairs already booked for like the next 2 months, and people didn't even know what it was going to look like. So that means they trusted us.
My goodness. Well, there has been an incredible amount of positive buzz out on social media about this place, and I can see why. After visiting here, it is just beautiful, and looking at the wine on display, tequila, but also looking at your menu and seeing these amazing dishes to pair with all of that. And the ability to look back there and see you, Chuy, doing what you do in that kitchen is part of what I think it makes it feel like family, because you said people would come to your house and you would cook, and this is kind of that, but on a bigger scale. Is that how it feels?
Well, that's I've been doing forever, but my biggest thing, like I say, I love to share everything with people, like friends and everything. So, I think people needs to see that how we're making your food, how we're cooking. And I think it's part of sharing, if people come and see that how we're cooking and how busy we are in the kitchen, it's part of sharing. And I love that, the thing is that I love to treat everybody like a family. So I think I love to be there and share love with people. And I think that food is one of the biggest ways to share love with people. And I love making friends. Like I tell all my servers, you never know who you're gonna meet or who you're gonna become your friend, and wherever you go, that people is gonna follow you. Mm-hmm. So just try to make friends every day, because that's friends they become family in the future.
Man, what can I possibly say that's more inspirational than what you just said? Jesus Chuy Garcia and Judith Martinez Garcia of Show Me Chuy. You worked that Show Me in there. I like that. Thank you so much, and best of luck on continued success.
No, thank you very much.
Be sure to go to AroundTheOzarks.com to sign up for our daily newsletter, where you can get every episode of Savor the Ozarks, plus all our other podcasts, events, and contests straight to your inbox. And what are your favorite dishes in the 417? If you have any restaurants you'd like me to visit, email me at joy@AroundTheOzarks.com.